I'm assuming everybody's back. So what can you tell me about the unit file generator? What is it? Create the naming for the documents, okay? So why do we do that? Why do you suppose we do that?
Puts them in order for you.
Puts them in order.
Yes.
And now, so you have to envision this. The first year we did this, people named their files anything they wanted. Okay? Now you can imagine that as coaches, we go through these and we're trying to figure out which is what's an activity document. And back then we had lesson documents. You don't have lesson documents anymore. So basically it was hard to figure out what was going on. Okay? So we created this unit file generator. And I don't know how many units you're going to develop. You're going to develop how many units this year? 2? And maybe, I don't know, will be 2 next year, Julie? Will they do?
They'll redo 1 and then 2 new. So
Okay.
they'll be teaching 3 but developing 2.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you're good, you do a lot of planning, you really only have to use this tool maybe 4 or 5 times. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some practical things. You can watch the video and kind of learn the technical parts of it. Okay? It's just an Excel spreadsheet. Okay? One of the things you have to keep in mind is it does not delete anything. Okay? So it's a very messy tool. It doesn't clean up after itself. Okay? The positive thing is you don't have to worry about it deleting something that you've created. But what you do have to do, you have to understand is where does it put the files? Okay? Now, I thought I'd start out with just kind of showing you the wiki to show you where things are, because we keep talking about this. Does everybody know how to get to the SEAM Summer 2015 wiki? Is that clear? Okay. Yeah. Now, can anybody see what I've got there? Can you read that? One of the tricks you might, if you don't know this, if I hold my control key down and hit plus, okay, or minus, okay, I can resize that. So that's something that you might think about. Anytime you use a browser, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, whatever, control plus and control minus allow you to make the screen bigger or larger. Now, where we're located here under workshops, we've got this unit file generator. And what I want you to make you aware of is that the way this is laid out, I've got some description at the top. There's the videos that you've been watching. You should have watched part 1 and part 2. Okay, we're not going to deal with part 3 because sometimes you don't need that. Part 3 is just revising things. And then down here, if you ever have to download another copy of the unit file generator because your desktop gets corrupted or whatever, you can either download the unit file generator or the templates in unit file generator are in that folder right there, so you can download it. Okay, so any questions on this? Okay, pretty clear. So I'm assuming that everybody has a Templates 2015 folder on their desktop. Okay. Now there's a mistake in one of my videos. I said inside this Templates 2015 folder you'd find the instructions too. Okay. Well, there are no instructions in there. Okay, but you got those today. Okay. We took the instructions out because they weren't done at the time we distributed this, so that's why they're not there. Okay. So you've got a unit template, an activity template, a worksheet template. There's no lesson template. Okay. So one less template to fill out. There's a unit poster template, but it's an old one. We're actually creating a new one of those too. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to use that one, even though it'll create it for you. And we'll talk about that later during your poster session. So how do I start the unit file generator? Just double click it, right? Okay. And I want each of you to do this. Okay. So just go ahead and open that up. And if you get a little box that says enable content or edit, I can't remember, enable editing or something like that, go ahead and click on those because there's a macro, and the macro basically is what's causing it to do that. It thinks that might be a threat, okay, but it's not. So anyhow, there's some stuff over here on the right-hand side. I don't know if do you remember what this stuff is over here? It's really not that important. Okay, except what I want to do is use it as a demonstration. What I'd like to do is I'd like to just first show you what this thing looks like when it's filled out. Okay, so what you can do is you can pick example 1 or example 2 over here. I'm just going to pick example 1, and it says you're about to erase all the data. Do you want to do that? Well, I don't have anything in here, so I'm just going to say yes. Okay. So what it did is I put this unit in here. This was an actual teacher in cohort 1, Matt Ritchie. Okay, I used one of his units. So this is what it might look like when it's filled out. Now we're going to come back and we're going to use the example that you used earlier. We'll fill it out, okay, and then you can ask questions about it. So this tab right here is unit information and lessons. Okay? If you go to the second tab, it's activities and worksheets. Okay? Now from your recollection, which one of these is the unit document, which one of these is an activity, and which is a worksheet? Any idea? Brittany? What's that now?
Worksheets are the ones that have letters.
Okay, so right here, have letters. Okay, and the column is worksheet letter.
Well, other than the fact that it says worksheet.
Okay,
But
good.
other than that,
But if you hadn't, I assume you watched the video. Okay, the fact that you watched the video. Okay, okay. And notice over here you got. So this is the file name it's going to create. Okay, and if you look at that, what you should do is before you generate it, you should look at that and see if they make sense. Okay, now right here it says Popsicle Catapult. Where did that come from? Over here. Okay, now it's important. This column is very important because it becomes part of the file name. Now, what are some invalid characters for file names? Slashes, underscores, commas, and so on. Okay, now the second year we did this, somebody ran it and it crashed. I couldn't figure out why did it crash. Why did it crash? Well, it's because somebody had put a comma in there. Okay, so now I've got something that checks it, and you'll get an error message that says, oh, you've got a problem here. Okay, so that should be okay. Now, if I wanted to add something to this, how would I do that? Let's say I wasn't satisfied with this. I wanted to add another activity here. Whoops.
at the bottom, fill in another line and hit save.
Okay, so just put another line in here. And what you want to do is you want to keep it in a hierarchical order. So you'd want to name it accordingly. So let's do this. Let me just do this as an example. So let's say I want to put another worksheet right here. Okay, I want it part of lesson 2, activity 3, and I want to put a worksheet in there. How would I do that?
Lesson 2, activity 3, worksheet B.
So 2, 3, B, and I'll just call it new activity. And as soon as I put new activity in there, notice it now created the file name over there. And I'm not going to put it, well, I'll put a description there, what the heck, so new activity. If I could spell, we would be done with this a lot sooner. Okay. Okay, so there it is. Okay, but the problem is it's not in the right order. I want to see if I put it in the right order. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the sort button. Okay. So now, one of the problems is right here. I've got 2 B's. What do I do now? Change the other one, right? So just change that to a C. You guys must have watched the video. All right. Okay. So, and I'm going to hit sort one more time just to make sure it's in the right order. Okay. So notice how it sorts it. So lesson 2, activity 3, lesson 2, activity 4. So this comes after that. So, and basically what it does is it sorts them based on the file name. Okay. Now, what do I do next? Let's say I'm satisfied with this. What do I do? Hit the create button. Okay. You see this flashing right here? The word flashing? Okay. Now, I wasn't quick enough, but if you click on that while it's generating them, you'll actually see it pop up these windows. Okay. So what it's doing is it's opening up the word template, and it's filling in all the information that you put in. Okay. Now, where did it put it? Where at? Not in the templates folder. What is it? The unit. Okay, so right here, it's unit archive. So it's in the unit archive folder. Where's the unit archive folder?
On your desktop.
On your desktop, right? Okay. These are all the files it created. Okay. So they're in a folder. You see the folder name right there? It says Unit 3 Projectile Motion 062315_150135. What does that mean? Date and time. Okay. If I run this again, what's it going to do? Everything here will be the same except that time will be different. Okay. It won't overwrite. You got to be awful quick to get it to overwrite something. Okay. So basically, what it'll do is that's 35. That 35 is 35 seconds. Okay. So every time you generate it, it's going to create a new name. You don't have to worry about it overwriting something that you've already got there. Because what you might say, oh gosh, I really wanted to save that. It should still be there. They're going to have multiple copies in the unit archive. Now I'm going to go to the unit archive, and then I'm going to show you something that you should do. So right here. Okay, now which one did I just create? Okay, how can you tell the time? Okay, good. Good. This is a bright group. Despite what Julie said about you.
He's a hater.
Okay, so there they are. Okay, there's my new activity. Okay, now I'm just going to take a quick look at these. You've already seen these. So there's the unit plan. The unit plan should always be at the top. Okay, and that should look familiar to you. You okay with that? Okay, so we don't need to spend any time on that. Let me close some of these things out. Okay, what's this document here? What kind of document is that? Well, it's, so tell me, it's 3.1.01. What does that mean? Activity 1, okay, so it's an activity sheet. We don't have any lesson sheets at all. We just got units and, actually we've got a worksheet. Okay, now here's one of the advantages of using Unit File Generator is all that stuff that you wrote in there, it sticks it in the file. Anybody ever go to the doctor? Okay, what do they make you fill out when you go to the doctor's office? A medical form. How many medical forms? Usually 4 pages. You sign your name 4 or 5 times. This takes that's one of the things that really aggravates me. So this one puts your name on all of your documents. Okay. So see there, Matt Ritchie. But when you put your name in there, it fills all that stuff out for you. Okay. And the last one is, so we created a worksheet document. So which one of these is a worksheet?
The letter ones.
The letter ones. All right, good. Okay, now, this is just a blank sheet of paper. Now, what you might want to do, let's say you've got an activity that you do, you've got a worksheet. Really, all you want to do is take that and replace it. Okay? What you want is the file name. Okay? So what you do is you just rename your file with the name of this file. And what's the name of this file? 3.2.03a. You could put that long name on your file and stick it with all of your files. You don't have to put your activity in this document. You can if it works, but if it's a PDF file, just use that file and just rename it. Okay, does that make sense? Brittany?
So we don't need that thing at the top.
You do not need that thing at the top. I'm going to say that. Julie, maybe correct me.
Yeah.
So let me show you a trick here.
As long as it has a file name, we don't really need all that stuff.
If you want to just get rid of this right here, just do that. Okay. If you go into the header, you could delete that part of it too, or just start out with a blank piece of paper. What we're interested in is the file name. Okay, so that they're in that hierarchical order.
So it'd be like thermodynamics problems or something like that.
Correct.
And do I have to have it saved in a certain place, or will it, like if I make sure that it's named 3 point blah 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 or whatever, do I need to save it in a specific location?
Well, let's talk about that. How do you manage your files now? Where do you save files now? You put everything on your desktop, you put them in a documents folder.
I have a lot of stuff on my thumb drive.
On your thumb drive, okay. Do you have a backup copy anyplace?
At the moment, no, but I can put them
Okay,
Or-
so a couple things. One is you can put them on your thumb drive. I'd encourage you to use the hard drive here and then back them up to your thumb drive.
Okay.
Make a multiple copy. You're going to, tomorrow, I think we'll talk about this tomorrow, we're going to actually upload these documents to your wiki. Okay? So your backup copy then could become your wiki, unless there's something is different about it or whatever, so.
I think maybe along the lines of that, if we were to name a different document with that specific name, would we want to then move it into the unit folder that we already have?
Well, that's an excellent observation, and what I would probably do, so let's go back here. I'm going to close this without saving it here. Let me go back to the unit archive. Probably here's the scenario I think is going to happen for you. Number one is your ideas are starting to come, okay? And you're probably going to start, let me open this up. You're probably going to start on the unit plan first. Okay, so you're going to start filling this document out first, okay? And as you go along, you say, oh gosh, I should have included this other worksheet, okay? So what you should do is go back to the unit file generator and regenerate it, regenerate your files, except you've already started that, okay? So now it becomes a document management issue, okay? What I would do is I would take this folder. Let me go up a level here. So I would take that folder, and if I wanted to put that in the Documents folder, how would I do that? I could drag it over. Okay, so let's just do that. So like that, is that? So it says Move. Okay, now I've got it there. Okay, now my problem is I thought of another worksheet. Okay, I go back to the unit file generator. Okay, and I put my new worksheet in. I click Create. I go back to the unit archive. And, okay, now, do I need the unit plan document now?
No.
Okay, so now what you do is copy the files that you need over. Okay, you don't need, you've already started working on that unit plan. Okay. Now, another thing you should do is, I didn't show you this earlier, I should have showed you this when we started, is I can call this worksheet anything I want. Okay. So to make it simpler for you, what I would do is I would go like this. I'd say File, Save As. Okay. Now, where would you put it? I'd probably put it in that folder that I just drug over there, right? Maybe put it here. And I'm just going to call this Unit 1. Okay? And I can close this out. Let me go back to that Documents folder, to here. So when you want to work on this again, just open that up. You can call it or whatever you want. Now, what you can't do, that Templates 2015 folder that's on your desktop, you can't move that. Okay, you can't stick that in the document because the unit file generator expects it to be on your desktop. So if you move that folder, it'll say, oh gosh, where'd that go? Okay, it'll be kind of like me. I can't find stuff half the time either. So if it can't find it, it won't run. Okay. Okay, what I would like to do is walk through an example, and we're going to use the same example that Debbie did. We're going to fill this out from scratch. Okay, remember the example that you just had? And you're going to tell me how to fill this out so I know whether you understand how to do this or not. So if I want to erase this, I'm just going to click on Erase Current Data. Okay, so tell me how to fill this out.
Unit name.
Start it with the unit name, okay? So what's the unit name? So wise consumerism? How about if I abbreviate it for right now, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. Okay. What unit is this? 1. Okay. First name, I'll just put my name. Put the date. You can just, for the date, you can just put in, what's today's date, the 23rd. I can just do 6/23, and it'll format the date that way. Put my email address in.
Would we put today's date or the date
This is the date that it'll put on the outside of the file. You can put whatever that you want there, but every file will have that date on it, on the file name. Okay? I'd just use today's date or whatever's convenient. I mean, it does. It really is for historical purposes. It'll tell you kind of when you are working on this unit. So I would probably put today's date. Okay, now I want to fill in the lesson information. What do I put here? Based on this thing here, what do I put here? Say it again. Okay, so now this can be longer because this is not part of the file name. So the role of and I'll just stop there. Okay, how about lesson 2? What's lesson 2?
Protecting the environment.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So now what do I do?
Six.
Go to the activity.
Go to the second tab. Very good.
Oh,
Very good. So I'm just going to go to the second tab here. Okay, now it gets a little bit harder. One of the things I didn't point out is your unit plan always is going to be the unit number 0.0, so it always floats to the top of your list. Okay. Here's that wiser consumerism that I put in. If you make that too long, the file name gets really long, so you want to abbreviate it, okay? And it always puts this unit plan in front so we know that's the unit plan, okay? And here's the date that I put in that. Remember I told you it's going to put the date in that you type in there? Well, there it is, okay? Okay, now what? Lesson number 1. Activity number 1. Is it a worksheet?
no.
Probably not. Okay. How about a file descriptor?
Intro to Big Idea.
Okay, so intro to big idea. Okay, so now you can see oh, now there's the file name that it's going to use. And if you're satisfied with that, you can go on. And I'll just put introduce big idea. What else is there? Is there anything else in here? Is there?
Essential questions, challenge example questions.
Okay, and that doesn't have anything to do with the file name, but that will end up inside the file. Okay, so it's always good to give a good description here so you remember what it is that what do you want to put in that file. Okay, so this description is kind of your clue to say, oh yeah, I wanted to put that in there. Okay, okay, keep going here. What next? 1, 2.
It doesn't say it's a worksheet. You could make it one.
You want to make a worksheet? Let's make a worksheet. Okay. How about let's put a pretest here?
Sure.
Is that all right? Whoops. That's not the right place. I must have. Okay, so I do a pretest. Actually,
Should that be a
I probably shouldn't use that dash. It might be an invalid character because this is part of the file name.
No dashes.
Let's just do this. Let's put a space. Spaces are okay. One way to try it is to see if it crashes. That's one way. I really don't want to do that right now. Okay. Or let's call it unit pretest.
So for lesson 1, activity 2, you don't have one that just says 1 and 2 without.
Actually, this probably should be activity 1 because it's part of activity 1. Okay. So and then we would come with activity 2. So what would be activity 2? Is there, or well, what should I put next here? What goes next?
Lesson 1, activity 2.
So 1, 2, and what? Oh, I'm sorry. What is this now?
pH in green products versus common non-green products.
Now this is part of the file name, so I want you to give me an abbreviation. So what is it?
Green versus non-green.
Okay. Non-green products.
Or you said green versus non-green.
And you can see what it does to the file name. It makes it's okay as long as you don't make something longer than Windows can handle. So, and then I'll just say pH test activity. Okay. How about this next row here? Okay, that's 2. Okay. Now, what we do, our activity numbers we make those 1 through whatever. Okay. Except in the case where you've got a worksheet, then you can replicate the activity number. So this would be 3. Okay. And what else?
Effectiveness of green versus non-green.
Are ampersands okay?
I don't think so. You can try it, see if it crashes.
I'm not going to be that person. At least not here. When I'm doing this for myself, probably.
Well, you know how to download a new copy of it, so it crashes and burns. You can always download a new copy. So, versus effectiveness. Okay, so keep going. You're doing good. 4. What's this one? Design a tool.
But it just crashed right away, because I put the dash on my own and it didn't crash.
It didn't crash. Okay. Check the unit archive to see. Did you hit create?
No.
Okay. Hit create and see if it crashes. I'm the facilitator. I don't want it to crash, you know. So.
No crashing yet. Nope, we're good.
Okay. Very good. So dash works. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So is there another something else go here?
No, that was it.
Let's put a post test in there. How would you put a post test in?
2, 4, 4.
4B. Okay.
Post test.
And Lori says that a dash works. No, I'm taking your word for it, Lori. Can somebody check on her screen, see if it really... Okay, so we'll just say post test.
That's 2.4 instead of 2.5.
Well, we're going to make it part. You could make it 2.5. I mean, what's important is that it's in the right hierarchical order. And the post test would be probably one of the last documents in your list. So you can make it either or. What I'm more interested in is this order right here. Okay. Now, do you see what it's doing? Is it's sorting on these numbers right here. Okay. Now, this is kind of unusual here. Why do you think we use 0, 2 here?
11.
Yeah, we had a problem with sorting because once it goes back to 10, it puts it in the wrong order. Okay, so anyhow, that's an artifact of some things we've learned over time. Now what do we do? Create?
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Now here's the...
I got that.
Yeah, you can't say I've got too many things open right now. There's the files that it generated. It tells you what folder it put it in up there. So let's go take a look at it.
Are we supposed to get that window?
It should come up, yeah. And what will happen is if you went over to your to look at Word as it's generating, you may have to go back and click on the what's that?
Hit a runtime error.
Okay, very good. So when you hit, you got a runtime error. Okay, I'll come and take a look at those in just a little bit because we'll. Now, what you can do is you can do a save as, okay, and if you want to save what you've got there. So why don't you just hold on because I'm not going to spend too much more time on this. I think you guys get it pretty well. Okay, but I do want to go to this.
I'll just wash her.
Okay, so there's the folder. Let's widen this out just a little bit. Okay, and so there you can see the stuff that it's put in this file.
So would you just click on the first?
So I went to the unit archives.
Right,
Okay, and then I clicked on the first. The first one is the unit plan.
okay.
Okay, so they should be in the right order. What I'm going to tell you right now is we also include a poster template in there, but we're creating a new one right now, so you know I don't figure you're going to probably get to your poster here in the very near future. So you can delete that out of this folder if you want. I mean, because we are going to provide you one later on when we talk about posters. I think that's not until, I don't know, it's not for a while yet. So you don't have to worry about the poster there. Okay. Anybody else have a crash problem?
I get the same one time.
Okay. Okay. So I'll take a look at it here in just a second and see what that is. Let me go back.
You created that folder in the unit archive.
Yes.
It created it on the desktop as a new folder,
Oh.
not in the archive. So
For
the
me,
unit
I just got the
archive
poster.
is empty.
Okay. And put it in
So I've
the.
got a new files folder that's got
Yeah.
files in it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh. Let me talk to you about that here in just a little bit. I don't know the extent why that does that, because that obviously it shouldn't do that, but it did. Let me go back to. I made a list of things that I wanted to cover, and you guys are in pretty good shape, I'd say. So I just want to renew. So do you know where the unit file generator is located on the wiki? Do you know how to download a new copy of it? Do you know what files are on your desktop? Okay. Now, one of the things that happens is the first time you open up the unit file generator, it creates a folder called rename files. And I'm not going to cover that today, but if you wonder where that came from, the unit file generator generates that. We opened it. Okay. You can rename it. You can save the unit file generator as like Unit 1 or Unit 2 or whatever. Are you okay with the tabs in the unit file generator? We went over the first two. I'm not going to talk about the third one. What the third one is for is if you have to do a massive file renaming. Okay? Let's say you generate a list of 15 or 20 files. Okay? Now I encourage you not to do that. Okay? Okay? So, but if you do, okay, and the file that you want to insert is file number 2, what do you have to do to the files below? You're probably going to have to what? Rename those all. Okay? If you have to do that, call me or see me. I'll help you with that. That's a little bit more complicated process, and I didn't want to complicate this too much today. How about cell comments? Anybody discover any cell comments at all? Okay, so a lot of times there's help. So if you just hover over the cell, okay, it kind of tells you what that's all about. Okay, what about this plus and minus here? What's that? Zoom in and out. Yeah, there's a zoom out. Okay, create sort button here is just to sort the files. Okay. Let's see what's here. The plus minus website demo sorting your files. Did that. Does it erase your work? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's assuming you can get it to run. Some of you did have issues with that. How do you download a copy? Oh no, we already did that too. So it looks to me like you're pretty good.
Okay, I know you said this, but I want to say it out loud.
Okay.
Make sure I understood.
Everybody listen now.
Maybe everybody else got it. But, so if I'm generating, say I generate 6 files to start, and I start working on 2 of them, okay? When I go back in and add more files and generate them again, I already started editing 2 of those. Should I take the 2 I edited, put them somewhere else, regenerate, and only worry about the new stuff.
Exactly.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's where the first time you generate it, drag that over to your documents folder. Okay? The second time you generate it, only drag those files. Now what you have to do is you have to take those new files, and I would stick them in that same folder.
Right.
Okay? So it becomes a file management issue at that point in time. But at least you don't have to deal with the file names. Now what you can do, you can name all the, you don't have to use this, you can name all of these manually. Okay? But you need to use that file naming standard so they appear in the right order. Okay? Other questions? Everybody wants to go home. Okay? And I'm ready to do that. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is on Wiki 2, we're going to actually, if you're able to generate files, okay, we're going to upload them tomorrow. Okay? We're going to practice uploading. Okay? So if you've got some real stuff to upload, that'd be better. Okay? But if you don't, we can use these examples to do that. Okay? So what you might do is try filling it out for what you know about your unit now, and then we can practice uploading those tomorrow. Okay? Question, Greg?
That rename files folder that comes up, do we need to keep that?
The rename files folder gets created every time you open up the unit file generator. It looks for that folder. If it's not on your desktop, it'll create it.
So if we...
You can delete it if you want. You can leave it there. It doesn't matter, because every time you open it up, it's going to create a new one.
Okay.
Now, I had some problems with some folks who it crashed. Was anybody able to run it successfully? Okay, so there was some successes. Okay, but my success rate wasn't that high. So what I'll do is I'm going to stay here, and I'll try to sort that problem out. Any other questions? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to fill out another feedback form, and just, oh, you got some? Okay, you guys have some? Okay, nope. So what I want you to do, I think there's 3 there.
This is the message you get before the debugging. Any previous files in the new files folder will be deleted. You want to continue.
And the new files folder will be deleted. Okay.
And they're talking about new files folder sitting on the desktop. But when I clicked in there, it has a PowerPoint in there.
Let me take a look at it. I'm not. It's not clear to me right now.
No, please read it.
Thank you. We have
You both
them.
okay, you guys got them.
Thanks.
Anybody that needs one?
I got some back.
Okay, very good. Okay.
I have a personal or kind of I want to ask in the class just a semi. So I generated it, and I've already been working on my unit.
Okay.
And I did not name my unit Unit 1, and it automatically